Libellus 2. A Discourse of Hermes Trismegistus to Asclepius. Is it not true of everything which is moved, Asclepius, that it is moved in something, and is moved by something? Assuredly. And is not that in which the thing is moved necessarily greater than the thing moved? Yes. And that in which the thing is moved must be of opposite nature to the thing moved. Certainly it must. Now, this cosmos is great. There is no body greater than the cosmos. Agreed. And it is massive, for it is filled with many other great bodies, or rather, with all the bodies that exist. It is so. And the cosmos is a body, is it not? Yes. And a thing that is moved? Assuredly. Of what magnitude, then, must be the space in which the cosmos is moved, and of what nature? Must not that space be far greater, that it may be able to contain the continuous motion of the cosmos, and that the thing moved may not be cramped through want of room and cease to move? Great indeed must be that space, Trismegistus. And of what nature must it be, Asclepius? Must it not be of opposite nature to the cosmos, and of opposite nature to body is the incorporeal? Agreed. That space, then, is incorporeal. Now, that which is incorporeal is either something that appertains to God, or else it is God himself. By a thing that appertains to God, I mean not a thing that comes into being, but a thing without beginning. If, then, the incorporeal thing is something that appertains to God, it is of the nature of eternal substance. But if it is God himself, it must be distinct from substance. Space is an object of thought, but not in the same sense that God is. For God is an object of thought primarily to himself, but space is an object of thought to us, not to itself. That which is an object of thought is such to him who contemplates it in thought. Space, therefore, is an object of thought not to itself, for it is not contemplated by itself, but to us. And if space is an object of thought, not as God is, but as the working of a power by which things are contained, then space is something other than God. Moreover, everything that is moved not in something that is itself moved, but in something that stands fast. And the mover too stands fast. It is impossible that that which moves a thing should be moved together with the thing it moves. How is it then, Trismegistus, that the things which in our world move other things are moved together with the things they move? For I have heard you say that the planet spheres are moved by the sphere of the fixed stars, and surely that sphere is itself moved. In that instance, Asclepius, the two things are not moved together. Their movements are contrary, for the sphere of the fixed stars is not moved in the same way as the planet spheres, but in the opposite direction. And the contrariety of the two movements keeps the fulcrum stationary, for motion is stayed by resistance. The planet spheres, then, being moved in the opposite direction to the sphere of the fixed stars, it cannot be otherwise. Look at the Great Bear and the Little Bear. As you see, they neither set nor rise. Are they moved, think you, or do they stand fast? They are moved, Trismegistus. And of what kind is their movement? It is a movement which circles round one point. Yes, and their revolution round one point is a movement that is held fast by immobility. For revolution round one point prevents departure from the orbit, and the prevention of departure from the orbit results in revolution round one point. And even so it is that movement in contrary directions is steadfast and stable, being kept stationary by the contrariety. I will give you an example which you can see with your own eyes. Take the case of some animal on earth. Look at a man, for instance, swimming. The water flows, but the resistance made by the swimmer's hands and feet keeps him stationary, so that he is not borne away downstream. That example makes the matter clear, Trismegistus. All movement, then, takes place within something that stands fast, and is caused by something that stands fast. The movement of the cosmos, then, and of every living being that is material, is caused not by things outside the body, but by things within it, which operate outwards from within, that is to say, either by soul, or by something else that is incorporeal. For the body which contains a soul is not moved by a body. Indeed, body cannot move body at all, even if the body moved be soulless. What mean you, Trismegistus, when logs and stones and all other soulless things are moved, are they not moved by bodies? Certainly not, Asclepius. That which is within the body, and which moves the soulless thing, is not a body, and that is what moves both the body of him who carries a thing and the body of the thing carried. For a soulless thing cannot of itself move anything. Thus it is that you see the soul distressed by the weight of its burden, when it bears two bodies at once. I have now explained to you what is that by which things are moved, as well as what is that in which things are moved. But surely, Trismegistus, it must be in void that things are moved. You ought not to say that, Asclepius. Nothing that is void. It is only that which is not that is void. That which exists can never come to be void. This is implied in the very meaning of the word existence. And that which is could not be a thing which is, if it were not filled with something existent. But what would you say, Trismegistus, of an empty jar or pot or trough and the like? Are not such things void? How far you are in error, Asclepius! Do you suppose these things to be void? The truth is rather that they are completely full. What do you mean, Trismegistus? Is not air a body? Yes. And does not that body permeate all things that are, and fill them by its permeation? And are not bodies composed of a mixture of the four elements? All things that you call void, then, are filled with air. And if with air, they are filled with all four elements. Thus we are led to a conclusion opposite to what you said. We must say that all those things which you call full are void of air, because the presence of other bodies in them leaves no space unoccupied, and so they have no room to admit the air. Hence the things which you call void ought to be called hollow, not void, for they are full of something that exists. There is no gainsaying that, Trismegistus. Now, what was it we said of that space in which the universe is moved? We said, Asclepius, that it is incorporeal. What then is that incorporeal thing? It is mind, entire and wholly self-encompassing, free from the erratic movement of things corporeal. It is imperturbable, intangible, standing firm fixed in itself, containing all things, and maintaining in being all things that are, and it is the light whereby soul is illuminated. Tell me then, what is the good? The good is the archetypal light, and mind and truth are, so to speak, rays emitted by that light. What then is God? God is he that is neither mind nor truth, but is the cause to which mind and truth and all things, and each several thing that is, owe their existence. Nothing is left over except that which is not. And all things that come into being come out of things that are, not out of things that are not. For not such is the nature of things which are not, that they can come to be something. Their nature is such that they cannot come to be anything. And not such is the nature of things which are, that they can ever cease to be. God is not mind, then, but the cause to which mind owes its being. And so, in our worship of God, we ought to call him by these two names. They belong to him alone, and to none beside him. None of the other beings called gods, nor any man nor daimon, can be good in any degree. God alone is good. All other things are incapable of containing such a thing as the good. Neither body nor soul has room enough in it to contain the good. For such is the greatness of the good, that it is coextensive with the existence of all things that are, things corporeal and things incorporeal, objects of sense and objects of thought together. And God is the good, and nothing but the good. Call nothing else good, then, nothing but God. It would be impious. And never call God anything but the good. That also would be impious. All men speak of the good, but some do not understand what the good is, and hence it is that some do not understand what God is. And in their ignorance they call the gods good, and they call certain men good, whereas gods and men can never be good, and cannot possibly become good. For the good is utterly alien to gods and men, but it is inseparable from God, for it is God himself. All the other gods are called good merely because men have sought to honor them by giving them a title which belongs to God. But God is called the good, not by way of honoring him, but because that is his nature. For the nature of God is one and the same with the nature of the good. God then is the good, and the good is God. And the other name of God is Father. He is called the Father because he is the maker or begetter of all things, for it is the part of a father to beget. And for this reason the begetting of children is held by those who think aright to be the most weighty concern in human life, and the most pious of deeds. That a man should depart from life and leave no child is a great misfortune and a great sin. It is a thing accursed in the sight of the sun. Such a one is punished by the daimons after death, and the punishment is this, that the soul of the man who has no child is condemned to enter a body that is neither that of a man nor that of a woman. Therefore, Asclepius, never be glad on behalf of any man that he is childless, but pity his misfortune, knowing what manner of punishment awaits him. Let this suffice. What I have taught you today, Asclepius, is a beginning of knowledge of the nature of all things.